I have Niko, who you guys have seen on some of my other channels, but he actually has done a lot of reality TV work. So let's talk about that. Welcome, Niko.
What's going on? I am known by Sifu all over, and what that means, I'm going to start there, is just master instructor. And I decided whenever I did the show, I guess the casting producers were like, "What does Sifu mean?" And then I told them, how I got it, doing Tai Chi and martial arts, and so now everybody calls me Sifu. So it's Sifu Nico, and I've had the pleasure of just doing some really cool stuff, Jerry, and the first really amazing thing that I got a chance to do was Survivor, which is just crazy. I don't know who knows about Survivor, but it is one of the hardest shows to get on. It's one of the most incredible shows. You're stranded on an island with 18 people that you don't know, and you have to survive. It's insane.
Let's talk about the casting process. How did that work? Was it like you applied or they found you? Let's go ahead and let's go with it.
I was just sitting binge watching Survivor in 2020 during COVID and all that. There was so many seasons. I was like, well, this can't get old. Uh, and I got a random bug, man. Something told me, why don't you just put in an audition tape and apply? And I didn't expect anything of it. I just told my life story and yada yada. And I get a call, and they're like, "Hey, we love what you said, and we just vibed with how you spoke and you told your story." And that was it. I mean, that was the beginning of my journey. It was like it was a long journey. You know what I mean? It was a long journey, man.
And you're obviously a very charismatic guy. So very likely they saw the audition tape. Like, dude,
Right.
this guy is
Right.
very charismatic. He's gonna look really well on camera.
Exactly. Exactly. And I think that's it. I put it all together, and I told them everything. I mean, it was like spill the beans or don't, full throttle or not. And so I told him about me being a gym owner and being a Tai Chi master and martial artist, and me, playing music and all this other stuff and being adopted. And, it was a lot. Right. And so, but it wasn't I didn't spill it all like, oh my God, this is my life story, blah, blah. I tied it into what it would make sense for the game, like how it would make sense for the game and how I would be presented, yada yada. And I think they just really enjoyed the way I spoke about it. But the casting process, so that's what we're going to get into. That was grueling. So first they reach out and say, "Hey, we like you. We'd like to talk to you." Once they do that, it's kind of like you're being ghosted by an ex-girlfriend because I'm serious, because they don't, like, you'll text and text and text, "Hey, is everything okay?" And they don't respond, which again, they're talking to thousands of people, so it makes sense. And then you get a message saying, "Hey, we'd like to go forward. We'd like to do a video call." So you do a video call with your casting director, and that is nerve-wracking because you don't know what they're going to ask. You don't know how they're going to approach you. But they literally, I'm telling you guys, they literally just want to have a conversation with you. And the conversation is to see, what are you talking about? What's your day to day? Did you just what did you just get done doing? So I was like, "Hey, I just finished walking my dog, and now I'm sitting down to play guitar, and I'm just getting ready for this." That's it. It wasn't superficial. It wasn't overly, prepared. It was just something that they want to get a vibe check. Then after that, you're filling out paperwork, and then you have a 10-minute call with the showrunner, Jeff Probst. That was stressful because you've seen Jeff Probst many years, and then you're on a phone call with him, a video call. So I think that was probably the most stressful aspect of the casting process besides the psychological test. So uh, I talked to Jeff, and literally we talk about his life, his father, his dog that he just got at the time, his son that was playing guitar. Um, Told him a little bit about me, what I like to do. Like, I thought it was going to be like, "Oh, I'm going to be the sole survivor because of this and this." No. Again, another conversation just to fill you out. And then after that, Jeff gives you a thumbs up or a thumbs down, but not right in front of you. Not right in front of you. He kind of sends that down to his casting people and says, "Hey, we like them," or, "Nah," or "How about we hold on to them?" I get further in, and Jerry, I'm doing psychological tests, and I'm like, "This is the moment I fell. Got it." It's like, you want to see what's in this crazy noggin? Good luck. So I start doing the psychological test and I feel pretty good. I do the math stuff. There's all sorts of things. I thought I failed it all and I did exceptional. Uh, there's like some puzzle stuff you do. So at this point, you're not sure still if you're in the cast, which is crazy. They put you through work over months and you're going to doctor's appointments to get physicals and shots and all this other stuff. Uh, and when you get to the point you're doing physicals and shots, then you kind of have a clue and a hint that you might at least be in the top running. But when you know for sure, you get about a month out before you're leaving. Right, right. And still at that point, they can tell you, hey, we actually have gone another way. So you got all these shots, and you got all this physical. So at least you're cruising if you don't make it, you're good for a while.
How long between the psychological test and like getting the physical and all the shots? What was that time frame?
I would say several months. Yeah. Yeah, several months because there's a lot of paperwork, a lot of NDAs, a lot of like contracts. You got to remember this is through CBS and Paramount. I mean, you got to go through their people, and the Survivor people. I mean, there's so many layers to it, and I think that taught me so much about myself, Jerry, because I had to deep dive into my family. I had to deep dive into my history and everything, even the medical history and stuff. And it was really cool reflection to see like a new depth to myself of fire for fighting to be on this cast, pro- providing the information, talking to the casting directors, talking to producers. And then one of the most nerve-wracking things is getting flown out to California and you're sitting in front of probably about 20 or 30 people. Some are producers, some are sorry, not cast, some are crew like camera people, and then you have showrunners, Jeff Probst right there, Matt Van Wagen, some people, all the people involved in making that show. And you're in this tiny room, right? And Jerry, you're gonna love this one. So I walk in, it's my time to sit down and talk to this group of people. And I think, hey, maybe I'm being highly considered for Survivor. I sit down and I'm talking, I'm nervous, and I call myself out. I'm like, hey, I'm nervous, and we're gonna get started. And then someone said, hey, aren't you a martial artist? What do you do? Tai Chi? Jerry, my dumb, I don't know if I can curse, but booty, told somebody, hey, come here, let me show you some Toi Shao, some pushing hands. I show them push hands, and Jerry, I do a rollback and I throw a producer on the ground. And I'm like, and everybody's laughing, everybody's hollering, and they're like, yeah. So I'm like, I guess that was a good thing. Threw a producer on the ground, everybody goes crazy, and we kind of just get ghosted again. And then when you hear back the next time, that's when they're like, hey, you have a month till you're going to Fiji. Right. On the islands of Fiji and competing on Survivor. So that was my journey through casting. Obviously, there's more detail, but that's the gist of it. And I'm just so happy and proud that I got picked. There's only been 700 plus, like 700 people ever to play this game, a little bit more than that, but and ever. And I was just so grateful to be a part of that lore, be a part of that journey, to have fought my fight for $1 million, and to just give it my all. I mean, that's what this game is about. If anyone watching this doesn't know what Survivor is, you're stranded on an island with 18 people. You get divided into teams. You do challenges. You're trying to win immunity so you don't get voted out. You're trying to find idols. You're feeding yourself. You don't have your phone. You don't have anything. You're out there stranded on an island, and there's cameras 24/7, like following you everywhere. So you don't have privacy. And what I learned from those things, Jerry, because I'm introspective with my Tai Chi and my energy, is that we truly, as primitives, like take everything away. You have to live with yourself for 24 hours a day, every single day. And there's so much rich plush energy there that you can mine in yourself, just figuring out your breath again, figuring out some old past history that maybe caused some traumas you can dig into yourself, or some good memories that you're creating now. And then also starving, having to get your own food rather than door dashing it or going to pick up a pizza right now. You had to, I mean, eating worms, right? Eating crabs that you could catch, opening coconuts, and not getting the nutrients that you're used to. So I lost 30 pounds in 3 weeks. 30 pounds in 3 weeks from that. And I gained so much perspective that one, we have an abundance of food here and we eat way too much food. And two, you can truly push yourself to the limits and capacities if you allow yourself to go there, because pain is inevitable and suffering is optional. And when you choose to live that way, or you're maybe forced or thrown into that society, then you are going to either crumble or thrive. And I was thriving. I mean, I was pushing the hardest I've ever pushed. I was on an island in Fiji, 7,000 miles away from home. And it was just so freaking crazy. So Survivor was probably the Taj Mahal was the top thing I got to do. So season 45, if you guys are going to check it out, season 45, Paramount CBS, you can watch it. I go by Sifu on there. And you can, I think it's episode, well, I don't want to give a spoiler away. So actually I won't say that, but go watch it yourself.
Do they teach you guys a little bit about wilderness survival before it? Or do they just toss you guys on the island and then it's
You
challenges?
are at your own disposal, meaning you can choose to study or you can choose not to. There is a pamphlet that you can get to look at the terrain as far as what is best to use and what is not, but that's just a book like while you're there for 4 days before the game starts. Right. So it's not like a deep, hey, we're going to take a course in a class on this. No, you have to kind of like do that yourself or choose to focus on that, terrain at home and try to find the stuff that you need. So
Wow. Well,
yeah,
I can imagine everyone their first day on that island. It's oh my goodness, man. Wow.
it's a shock to the system, Jerry. And it's a shock to the system because you've never experienced being stripped of everything and then also someone seeing and watching you for 24 hours. So that's why they do a deep psychological thing, because I could lose it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I could be starving and then start flipping out and start wanting to hurt people. You never know where that person wants to go
Yeah.
with it. But uh, I would say before you get on the island, Jerry, the most important aspect is just self-preservation. So like little things like making sure your clothes aren't wet. Make sure you keep them by the fire if they do get wet. Using sand to exfoliate your skin if you have to. You know, taking dumps in the ocean. We call them aqua dumps, or digging a hole. You know what I mean? Like, you're using your hand to wipe with sand and right. I don't want to get too deep into that, but you get the point.
Yeah.
Uh, and then just I haven't even mentioned the community aspect. I don't know these people. I've never met these people. That's the crazy part. That I've never met them, and now to this day, I mean, we have vacations together, we talk together, we do fun videos together. We're a family bonded. And it's through an experience that I'll never forget. It's through an experience that taught me so much rich plus things about myself, about other people, and that, hey, Jerry, you have to go get firewood. I have to start the fire. XYZ has to try to find food, and you need to help build a shelter. And these three, it's just about delegation and figuring it out. And that was such a beautiful aspect of the show. And maybe it's because of the Tai Chi that I look at things this way. And maybe it's because of my martial arts I look at things this way. Because, if you're doing jujitsu, if you're doing Toi Shao or Tai Chi, you have to look inward no matter what it is, or just even kickboxing. You have to look inward and figure out where you're willing to go. Am I willing to fight this guy who has 15-0? You know what I mean? Like, am I willing to do that? Like, and maybe I have 5-2. I don't know. But it's like you have to find what pushes you and what motivates you and where your break point is and go way past it. And that's what this show did for me. That's what meeting these people did for me, is getting in this community, getting this fresh perspective on people stripped of everything, and you now are building this community, and then doing challenges in the middle of the ocean. I don't know. I can't top that show. I've been on other TV shows, but that is definitely one of them that beats it.
Are you allowed to bring a toothbrush, or you
No,
can't? No, you
no.
can't even bring a
You
toothbrush.
you can bring clothes that you're wearing. So
Wow.
yeah. Yeah. You can bring clothes, and then if you have anything like a severe medical thing, you can bring that. So if I had to take a pill every day for my life or something, I could bring that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I bet you there was, I'll call it like a decompression that happened when you got off the island and you had to come back to society, right? You're like, whoa.
I'm glad you said that, because that point, when you get voted off, it's very surreal. And it's like being ripped from one reality and going to another reality, because in Survivor, they don't stop and start necessarily. So when you start the game, it's forward. It's like Mario Kart. You can't go back. And you do not stop. So whenever you're ripped from it, they don't want you to experience that anymore. So then you go to this place called Ponderosa, and at Ponderosa, you then get food and you get environment, you get massages, you get a shower, but you don't get your phone and stuff back till you get to the States. Right. So you're still sequestered and you're still locked down until you fly back to the States, which could be anywhere from a week to one day at the point that I was voted out. Um or sorry, it could be up to 2 weeks or one day, depending on where your placement is. And when you get back to the States, Jerry, and you get your phone, I mean, talk about information overload, because I had just been the most primitive I've ever been in my life. No phones, no anything connection to society. And then when you see all these millions of things firing off at you, billboards, people walking, phone calls, everything, it is so overstimulating. It is so overwhelming. And then it shows you something, that we have become so desensitized to this, right? Like if you walk into an airport, there's five things dinging, this and that, report to the, and then phone's going and you're scrolling through your thing, and like it's so much. And I'm just like, wow. I was so appreciative of the silence that I got at night under the millions of stars with no light pollution. I was so appreciative of getting to starve and having to go get my own food. I was so appreciative of meeting new people I'd never met before and then becoming family bonded. And getting back to the States showed me that I need to be more present, take more time to focus on individual conversations with people, listen to people, understand them. And when you're breaking bread with someone, enjoy it. Don't rush it. Don't put a, I mean, yeah, you could have a meeting like we're meeting about something we have to do for work, whatever, but enjoy the time that you have with the people and cherish it and love deeply, like with your family. So that's what I kind of took from it. And I did get overstimulated quite a bit. I did think people were lying to me, or whatever, all the time, because that was the name of the game. So
And I think what we should probably do is we should do a series of talks, because
yeah,
let's just focus on Survivor this time, and we can talk about beast games in the future. We'll talk about other
yeah,
things.
yeah.
So you're here back in society, and I'm sure they're going to edit the show. So the show doesn't air immediately, right? So there's also a
Right.
waiting process to be like, when is my show going to air? How am I going to look? What are they going to keep in? What are they going to keep out?
Yeah. So whenever I came back, you have probably about 3 months until it airs. So when I came back, everybody's like, "Oh my God, you're super skinny. What'd you do?" And I was like, "Oh, this new fad diet. I lost 30 pounds. Yada yada." But realistically, there's only close family that knew, like one or two people. That's it. And I didn't even tell them like my placement or anything, because I wanted it to be a true surprise for when they watch it back. But let me tell you, Jerry, when it aired online, I did not, or on CBS and Paramount, I did not understand the reach of Survivor. My community stood up. I mean, thousands of people were calling and texting and posting and resharing and reaching out. And it was businesses were saying, "We got a local on national TV." I mean, it just felt so empowering to be in that placement. I didn't expect it. I think that was something that I didn't plan for necessarily. You know, Going to the store and getting recognized and taking pictures with fans and being out of town. One time I was in Canada and a fan came up to me. I was at a Canada airport, Canadian airport. "Oh my God, it's Sifu." I'm like, Huh? You know me? Like what? I it took a time to adjust to that. And it also took time to just kind of like watch it back because you're right. What you said, it's like you don't know how they edited you. Sorry, you could be the villain. You could be the Luffy guy. Dude. You could be whatever they want you to be, depending on how you played. And I remember watching it back, and I was so thankful that they got the essence of my freedom. They showed me doing Tai Chi. They showed me being a hard player on challenges. There was a couple episodes where they showed me struggling and fighting for, not being voted out or hearing that my name came up. And I mean, it was cool to see it play back because you as a player know some of the story, but you don't know what someone said behind your back because you can't see that until you're, watching it back. So you have no clue if they're like talking to you right now and then they're like, you know what, Sifu is an idiot. Hey, like you have no clue until you see that back on a confessional. So I think the watching it back was a new experience. It was another big experience for me. It was really tough because I lived that, and then everybody else at the party, the watch parties and stuff, are just celebrating me, but I'm also reliving it. I can smell the smells. I can remember what happened during those days. I can recall what they didn't show. You know what I mean? And to me, that was tough. That was actually pretty tough. You know what I mean? That was fun too. Don't get me wrong, but it was tough in the sense of, man, I really did that. And you're only seeing 90 minutes out of 24 hours of my day, which is insane, man. Insane. Like insane. So, anyways, that's my 2 cents on that, on coming back and kind of becoming, I mean, I can't say a celebrity because I can't relate to that necessarily, but becoming more idolized or more viewed or more people want to do this all over the world, and that was just so interesting that I was chosen. I got to do this, relive it and rewatch it. I mean, I'm just so thankful and so grateful.
And I know you signed NDAs and stuff, so I
Yeah.
don't know if I can ask you for details, but is there anything they didn't show that you can talk about?
Oh yeah, so NDAs and stuff are over with now per se.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the things that they didn't show, I would say, are just like the raw connections between my tribe, Reba. They showed a lot of good connections towards the storyline, but there were things that I enjoyed doing, and there were things that different people enjoyed doing. You got to see it, such as hunting for crabs with your tribe mates, or going and finding these hot peppers that we found, and we ate them, and we all were sweating and screaming and running. And there was the winner of my season. She spoiler alert, she got mad at me one day. We started yelling at each other, and she chased me with a stick. They didn't show that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
there are spicy things they didn't show because maybe it doesn't work with the storyline, and it as a player. You're like, dang, I wish they would have showed that, or dang, that's when this happened, or whatever. But you can recall it. So I think that that's the cool part. Uh, the challenges, they don't show the like how long they are necessarily, because they're sometimes an hour, sometimes 2 3 hours, or tribal councils where you're delegating and seeing who's going to be voted out. They don't show the whole thing, which is good for time constraint and stuff. But I don't know. I think that's it as far as my tribe, the dynamic, and what we did and how much we bonded. You just didn't see it as much, and I would have loved for them to show more of that, and or even create like a. They do have a YouTube channel where they'll post things that didn't make it, like deleted scenes. So that was cool, but I wish they would continue that through like out the summer or something to where you can continue to get those clips.
An idea for the producers of the YouTube channel or
Uh
whatever,
huh.
show us as many clips as you can because people will watch it. You think, okay, maybe this didn't make it show, maybe not many people watch it, but you never know what deleted scenes, extra scenes people might connect with.
I reposted a deleted scene of me. I was the first one to get fire on Survivor, and they didn't show that, but they posted it, and I posted it, and it went up like wildfire. People loved it because it was an empowering story of me struggling to get fire for the first few hours. Then I had to go sit on the beach and meditate for about 45, 50 minutes, come back to it, and then still couldn't get it, meditate some more. And then that evening, I came back at it and I got fire, and it was such a beautiful process. And when I shared that in it, it was like, oh man, this is my teacher. This is some guy from O'Fallon that really never gave up. Like, my town was rallying for me, and people that had watched it all over the world were like, that's cool to see. So, and then you obviously had the doggers. Oh, it took you 8 hours. You're an idiot. Blah, blah, blah. I mean, that's converse. You're always going to have good and evil, or you're going to always have bad and good, or whatever. But it was just, I do wish they would show more of that. But it makes sense because, time. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So what is next with Survivor? Will they invite you back to like the best of show? Sometimes they'll invite people back. Are there any talks of that?
Yeah, so they actually season 50, they invited not everybody, sorry. They have all returning players. I did not get picked, but two people from my season did. And it's already filmed and it's going to air in 2026. So that's the first time that they're bringing in the new era, they're bringing everybody back, or not everybody, all returning players back. So that's going to be spicy. That's
Yeah.
going to be good.
So
Yeah.
that's something to look forward to.
It is, and I think that they're going to continue to bring people back, which hopefully you guys see Sifu one day in the fold, in the mix. Let's go.
Exactly. I think this is a good little stopping point, guys. Stay tuned. We will interview Sifu Nico more because he was also on Beast Games. And you did stuff between Beast Games and Survivor, right? So we can talk about maybe the in-between next time.
Yep. So thank you guys, everybody. Fight Commentary is one of the best channels. Go check them out. They've got wonderful things, picking apart people that either say they can fight or can fight, and it's just really good to see false people get called out and get beaten on, which is kind of funny to say, but it does stop the diluting of our art, so people can actually see what's true, what's real, what you want to practice, what you want to take up, and what is the best option for you. So I love this channel. Thank you for having me on. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Sifu. And for everyone watching, if you see this on YouTube, I will put a link to Sifu Nico's channel so you guys can follow him.
Love it. Give me a follow and a like. Bye.